Happy Earth Day! Kent State celebrates through initiatives to reduce waste and plastic pollution. Learn more about all the ways students are staying eco-conscious.
Kent State University has unveiled a new website that will help students comprehend Senate Bill 1. Hear about what is included.
And the Trump administration threatens to withhold federal funding from many universities across America. All of these stories and more as Kent Stater TV News starts right now.
This is Kent Stater TV.
Good evening, Portage County, and welcome to KSTV News at 6. I'm Lillian Drabick.
And filling in for Matthew Corrali, I am Gage Wellman. Thank you for spending your Tuesday evening with us.
In honor of Earth Day, students on Kent campus are stepping up through impactful initiatives aimed to reducing plastic waste and protecting the earth.
Our reporter Emma Campbell has the story behind the efforts of an eco-friendly campus.
It's really just a reminder of how important conservation is and all of the small things that we can do to help with that.
On Kent campus, recycling helps reduce landfill, waste, conserve natural resources, and cut down on pollution. Students and faculty are coming together to turn small changes into a lasting impact.
I always recycle, and yeah, I pick up litter when I see it for sure. Just being a biology major, try to get as much information about how conservation can be done by people as well as corporate.
For Earth Day 2025, KSU planned a month full of events inspiring students to take action and participate in protecting the planet.
I did some volunteering on Earth Day to do some cleanup at parks and stuff, because recycling is just another thing that we can do as a society to help benefit the earth, and it's easy.
Some of the events hosted by KSU were Flashes Give Back Week, public health career fairs, earth science lectures, park cleanup, and exhibits by students.
Drawing attention to Earth Day and other activities like that are helpful because they bring awareness, and together as a campus we can all do good things.
Thanks, Emma. Speaking of Earth Day, Kent State Sustainability is holding their own celebration tomorrow from 11 to 2 p.m. on Risman Plaza. Earth Fest will host 30 on and off-campus organizations to increase student awareness about sustainability efforts made around Kent. There will be music, giveaways, activities, prize drawings, and more, all with the goal of getting students inspired and engaged.
Kent State University is also partnering with Haymaker Farmers Market to bring an outdoor market to the Kent State campus. The market is a part of KSU's Fab Earth Fest and will be held on Risman Plaza tomorrow from 11 to 2. A few vendors visiting campus includes Hazel's Soapery and Pete's Organic Teas, among others.
Today is the day of giving, and Kent State is celebrating all day long. Any donations made today to Kent State University Fund will be matched up with up to $250 per donor. The athletic teams will also be competing in the Athletic Green Lending Challenge. All donors who make a minimum donation of $50 will receive a swag bag. Tune in to tomorrow's newscast at 6 for more information.
This Friday, the Kent State baseball team is taking on rival Akron at home, and to celebrate, Fab is hosting a pregame event. The Grand Slam tailgate kicks off an hour and a half before first pitch at 4:30. over at Schoonover Stadium. Now, not only will that school from down the road be present, Kent State's very own DJ Smills will be in attendance to get fans hyped up.
Your first forecast on Kent Stater TV.
What better way to celebrate Earth Day than by enjoying the rare sunshine over Kent today? And I mean it, look right there. We've got, for the first time in a long while, a sunshine graphic in your weather forecast. Outside Franklin Hall today, 64 degrees, and do I need to say it again? Sunny. Low winds, 5 miles per hour, so it's not really going to take away from the 64 degrees that we're feeling today. Cloud coverage at just 5%, so we actually got to enjoy these blue skies. But how is it going to look like into this evening? Going into this evening, we're the temperature is going to drop down a little bit, 60 degrees at 8 p.m., but partly cloudy of 0% chance of rain, so it's going to feel a bit warmer because we won't have any precipitation coming down like we have earlier this week. Sunshine still there. Then at 10 p.m., 52 degrees. Once the sun sets, it's going to get colder. Night clouds, but still no precipitation. And then going to midnight, a few degrees less at 49 degrees. Some more night cloud, 1% chance of precipitation, so you can just neglect that. It's going to feel a little bit chilly, but honestly, it's not going to feel too bad. But how about your walk into class tomorrow morning? 75 degrees. Can you believe that? That's warmer than today by about 11 degrees. Not as much sunshine, partly cloudy, but it's going to feel a lot better with those extra digits there. Partly cloudy, as I mentioned. Sunrise, bright and early, 6:33 in the morning, and then you get to enjoy the sun for a lot longer. Sunset, 8:14 p.m. Humidity, though, at 40%. We're no strangers to that in Northeast Ohio. Guys, spring might have snuck up on us, but we're glad it's here. Stick around and see how long this sunshine will last us.
Thank you, Alton. Today, Kent State opened the Legislation, Mandates, and Rulings webpage, which explains what the university will look like in the aftermath of Senate Bill 1. The website, which can be found under kent.edu/legislation, outlines how SB 1, which goes into effect in June, will change administrative policies and the impacts of the bill on faculty and financial operations.
To anyone who has had to borrow student loans, this could impact you. Yesterday, the Department of Education announced a new update on student loans, stating that it will start collecting student loans on default starting May 5th. This comes after the pause set back in 2020 with the pandemic. Loans go on default after there is no payment for 270 days, and it is set to impact more than 5 million borrowers.
And staying in Washington, the Trump administration has once again opted to withhold federal funding from American universities. Last week, the West Wing froze more than $2 billion of federal funding and contracts at Harvard after Columbia University received similar funding slashes earlier this month. A report from S&P notes the financial pressures on the universities could result in layoffs and reduced research programs.
Pope Francis, the head of the Catholic Church, died yesterday morning. Today, his funeral was announced to be held on Saturday. Tune in for more about the funeral.
Federal Reserve Chair Jerome Powell staying strong on his vow regarding interest rates. KSTV has your stories and more ahead.
First, they said cigarettes were safe. Now, they say they didn't market e-cigarettes to teens? Fact. More than 1 in 4 high school students are vaping. Same lies, different day. Tell Big Vape to quit lying.
The FDA asks questions like, is this drug safe? Does it work the way it should? Is it high quality? Do its benefits outweigh its known risks? Find the answers at fda.gov/drugs.
Hi, I'm Leland Melvin, and I traveled to space twice as a NASA astronaut. Space technologies help protect our precious Earth. Space helps us monitor changes in carbon emissions, track the pace of climate change. It even helps us fight natural disasters. Make sure that you get out to your local science museum or go to spaceforall.us to explore and learn about space and science. Space is for all.
Will spend 15 minutes watching online videos like this one.
Brushing for 2 minutes now can save your child from severe tooth pain later. 2 minutes twice a day. They have the time.
Tomorrow's news leaders.
Today's top stories.
From an award-winning student newsroom.
This is Kent Stater TV.
Your community.
Your stories.
Yesterday, the world was shocked with the news of Pope Francis's passing. Today, the Vatican announced that the Pope's funeral will be held this Saturday at 4 a.m. Eastern Time.
Currently, Francis is resting inside of his coffin in the chapel of the Santa Marta residence, his home during his papacy. Tomorrow morning, he will be moved to St. Peter's Basilica, where he will stay until the funeral.
The general public will be able to pay their respects in person after the cardinals.
Now let's turn to Avery Rigney to tell us more. Avery?
Thank you, Lillian and Gage. As we know, the recent passing of Pope Francis has impacted many around the world, including right here in Ohio. Many Ohio representatives expressed their sorrows and share memories of Pope Francis' impact on the world. Ohio Senator Bernie Moreno only has kind words for the Pope, saying he was a tireless advocate for the dignity of life and service to others. His legacy inspired people all over the world. Governor Mike DeWine has ordered all flags at public buildings across the state to fly at half-staff in honor of Pope Francis. Pope Francis died of a stroke followed by heart failure Monday morning. Earlier this year, Pope Francis was hospitalized for 5 weeks. While in the hospital, he suffered acute respiratory failure, arterial hypertension, and diagnosed with type 2 diabetes. According to his medical team, he came close to death during this hospitalization, as he also suffered double pneumonia during this time.
When he came out and said Buonasera and his simplicity, and really echoed St. Paul's words, I fought the good fight. I finished the race and I kept the faith. All the things you talked about, things he brought up that he really isn't traditionally talked about, he fought the good fight.
Monday evening, a Rite confirmed Pope Francis's death. His body has been placed in a coffin in the chapel of his residence, the Casa Santa Marta. The official declaration of death was read by Cardinal Kevin Farrell, a member of the Holy Roman Church. Public viewing begins this Wednesday through Friday ahead of a Saturday funeral. To honor his wishes, he will be buried at the Basilica of St. Mary Major in Rome. Since his passing, a conclave has been called. Cardinals under the age of 80 are called to the Vatican, where they gather in the Sistine Chapel. The cardinals are secluded from the world to vote in secrecy. These candidates must receive 2/3 majority of the votes. After each round of the voting, the ballots are counted and later burned to make smoke, either showing black smoke indicating no pope has been selected, or white smoke meaning a new pope has been elected. Kent Stater will continue to cover the passing of Pope Francis and what is to come in the next few weeks, as a new pope will be elected.
Keeping you informed and ahead of the storm, this is your KSTV weather.
Looking at these temperatures, I think it's fair to say spring is officially here, and we're happy to share the warmth across Ohio today. Starting down here in Cincinnati, a really warm 71 degrees, aided by some great sunshine in the city down there. Likewise in Columbus, but they're not as lucky as their other half. They got clouds over there. Along the shoreline, a little bit colder. We'll get to that in just a second. Athens at 69 degrees, and then our neighbors in Pittsburgh also at 69 degrees. Again, the shoreline, about a couple degrees less because of the cold air coming off of there. We'll take a closer look into the Akron-Canton region to see what's going on with that. Starting the shoreline, you'll notice these are about 3 to 4 to 5 degrees difference because they get that cold lake air coming off. So Sandusky at 60 degrees, Cleveland at 59 degrees, and then Ashtabula at 57 degrees. And it's not that much of a difference distance-wise, but we're not getting that wind down here. So Mansfield 64 degrees, Worcester 64 degrees, Akron-Canton 63, Kent 61 degrees, and then Youngstown 62 degrees. We've had some great sunshine today as well. Cleveland not as lucky, but sun's setting soon, so you can expect those temperatures to get a little colder. Let's look into the next week. Wednesday, high of 75, low of 52, some sunshine, partly cloudy. Thursday is going to be an incredibly warm day for us in April, high of 82, low of 60, mostly sunny, and we're not going to expect any precipitation there. So if you guys have the chance to get outside on Thursday, go and do it. Friday, still keeping with those warm temperatures, but unfortunately, I hate to say it to you, but we're going to have some storms that day. 67% chance of rain and thunderstorms for Friday, low of 48. Going to the weekend, though, we shouldn't expect to bring those thunderstorms into Saturday and Sunday, although temperatures are going to drop. High 53 on Saturday and low of 39. And then Sunday, tad bit warmer, high 57, low 45. On Monday, high of 77, low of 63, partly cloudy. And then the storms return on Tuesday of a high of 82, low of 63. Finals week, it's quickly approaching, guys. So if you can find some time to enjoy this weather before you're stuck in study halls and exam rooms, take any chance you can get.
Thank you, Alton. Last night, Paul Atkins was sworn in as chairman of the Securities and Exchange Commission after being confirmed by the Senate earlier this month. Atkins previously served as SEC Commissioner under 43rd President George W. Bush from 2002 to 2008. The SEC said that during Atkins' tenure in the 2000s, he advocated for transparency and consistency.
According to the Federal Reserve Chair Jerome Powell, interest rates are not going to be lowered. This is due to inflation still being over the 2% target. The Trump administration's plan for the economy relied on the lowering of these rates, and now President Trump has threatened to fire Powell if he does not lower them, even though the Federal Reserve operates outside of White House control.
And as of today, the price of gold has jumped to a record high. The Group 11 element surged to a price of over $3,500 per troy ounce, which is a 31% increase so far in 2025. The rise in gold prices comes as concerns about President Trump's intention to relieve Federal Reserve Chair Jerome Powell of his duties, as Lillian said.
The International Monetary Fund has announced that impacts from Trump's tariffs are said to have had a ripple effect on the global economy. According to the IMF, the global economic growth is predicted to slow to 2.8% compared to the 3.3% from last year. The World Economic Outlook also stated that the increase in the U.S.'s economy will be a full point lower than last year.
If you frequently use the apps Shein and Temu, you may want to get your orders in before prices raise. The Chinese e-commerce companies saying they are ready to make price adjustments starting on Friday. Temu and Shein are raising prices on goods such as clothes in response to President Trump's recent tariffs imposed on Chinese imports.
Walgreens is set to pay a settlement of $300 million to the United States government after an opioid lawsuit. The pharmaceutical company allegedly filled millions of invalid prescriptions and then charged the recipients through federal health care programs. The company will also have to pay an additional $50 million if they are transferred, sold, or merged before 2032.
Well, the Guardians went head-to-head with the New York Yankees last night. We tell you what helped them take the W in the land.
The FDA asks questions like, is this drug safe? Does it work the way it should? Is it high quality? Do its benefits outweigh its known risks? Find the answers at fda.gov/drugs.
In the time it takes to play a new album, you can get answers to deep questions like, were all those clubs in your 20s really such a bad thing? Hey, no judgment, but it's possible concerts weren't music to your ears.
1 in 4 people over 20 now have signs of noise-induced hearing loss. So let's see a hearing professional and get those ears checked.
Answers are good. Your moves? Not bad.
Hey, I'm worried about your parents. We need to show them how to spot phishing emails.
Agree, the scammers are out of control.
And we need to show them how to use a password manager. Plus, help them add multi-factor authentication.
Yes, we use MFA at work and it's great. Great cake. I'll use MFA to verify my purchase. Software update? Done. Time to celebrate.
For more information on how to keep yourself and those you care about safe online, go to cisa.gov/secure-our-world.
This is your Kent Stater TV Sports Report.
Football Hall of Fame tight end Shannon Sharpe released a public statement on social media today after he was accused of sexual assault in a lawsuit filed in Nevada on Sunday. In a 70-second clip posted on X, Sharpe opened the video by denying the accusations and claiming that the lawsuit is a shakedown. Sharpe also saying that the plaintiff's lawyer, Tony Busby, targets famous black men such as Jay-Z.
The NFL draft is coming up, and Green Bay, Wisconsin is preparing for the thousands upon thousands of fans coming to the arena to watch.
More than $1 million in security measures have been put in place to keep fans safe and the draft running smoothly. Fencing and increased security guards have been added to the metal detectors and barriers that were already there in the first place.
We now go to Evan Schofield for more with sports. Evan, are you ready for the draft?
Well, Lillian, I could not be more excited as the days are counting down and my excitement is through the roof. But as much as I love the NFL, we're going to take it over to the mound to see what exciting things went down here in Kent. Well, the Flashes rallied 21-3 win against Washington and Jeff last night as all 17 batters for Kent recorded a hit or a run. Their bats came out swinging in the first inning with 16 runs scored with no chance for the Presidents to close the gap. Landon Teesing was among the Flashes to help end the game with 3 hits, 3 runs, and 4 RBIs. The Flashes take the field tomorrow against Youngstown State Penguins. And Kent State softball wrapped up its non-conference slate game at Youngstown State earlier at 3 p.m., winning 13-3. It was a solid weekend as the Flashes had a comeback win over Northern Illinois and strong performances from Katie Jomeri and Megan Clairhout at the plate. Pitchers Delaney Nagy and Ella Johnson also held it down with a combined 2.33 ERA. Kent State has historically dominated this matchup, and they have now kept the trend going before hitting the road against Western Michigan. Well, the NBA playoffs are up and running, so let's get you ready for an eventful night. Bucks and Pacers are going to be a game to watch as Indiana leads the series 1-0. Player like Giannis can tie this one up at 7 p.m. Following that game, the Grizzlies and Thunder match is up at 7:30. It'll be another great battle between Ja Morant and Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. OKC is up 1-0. Finally, LeBron James and the Lakers take on the Timberwolves. Who can be more aggressive to take game 2? Find out at 10 o'clock. Well, we're in the land for the first of the series. Guardians, Yankees, let's do it. Why not give it to one of your best players to start the game? Jose Ramirez with a bomb, deep right field. That ball is gone. How about a 3-run homer to get things going? He scores. Brian Rocchio and Stephen Kwan guards up 3-0. You know that ball's going to go all the way. Staying in the third, it's going to be a pitch to Kyle Manzardo, and what a streak this guy's been on. How about a high fly ball right? It's gone. Manzardo has hit a home run in 3 consecutive games. 4-0 Guardians, thanks to the young stud and Kyle Manzardo. Get your flowers from your team. 1 inning later, there's going to be a runner on third. Speaking of studs, Rocchio hits a ball so hard, his bat breaks. Jazz Chisholm doesn't even know what hit him. RBI single for Rocchio. Guards have a demanding lead, 5-0. 7th inning, 1-2 count. Jason Dominguez heads out right center field, and see ya! 2-run homer puts the Big Apple boys back in the game, 6-2. Now we're going to head to the 8th, where Aaron Judge, 1 for 2, lines to left field. What a diving catch by Stephen Kwan. 6-2 Guardians looking to close this one out, and they do with an Aaron Judge strikeout. Ends the game. Guardians come out on top, 6-4. Well, getting to the hardwood, it's game day for the Cleveland Cavaliers, and they're all set for game 2 against the Miami Heat. The Cavs dominated game 1 as Donovan Mitchell had 30 points, tied with Michael Jordan as the most game 1 30-plus point games with 7. Darius Garland was stellar with 27 points, and Ty Jerome notched 28 of his own. Keeping momentum on both sides secures the win against the likes of Andrew Wiggins and the Heat. See you tomorrow at 7:30 p.m. For more sports content, check out Overtime, airing this and every Friday. I'm Evan Schofield, Kent Stater Sports.
Baseball Fans Today is for you. Find out the history behind National Baseball Day when we come back.
I'm Robert De Niro. My beautiful grandson Leo died by fentanyl poisoning. He didn't even know he was taking it. Please join me and my family in our fight against the poisoning of a nation. Go to ladrfoundation.org.
First, they said cigarettes were safe. Now, they say they didn't market e-cigarettes to teens. Fact. More than 1 in 4 high school students are vaping. Same lies, different day. Tell Big Vape to quit lying.
Hey there, I'm Lance Bass, and this is Chip. And for more than 100 years, American Humane has been protecting animals in times of crisis. And if you're like me, your pet means the world to you, and you want to keep them safe if disaster strikes. American Humane's first responders are always prepared to rescue animals in danger, but you can also help. To learn more about disaster planning and keeping your animals safe, please visit AmericanHumane.org.
Can you consent with me? Imagine what you'd see if every child had a book to read. 'Cause every kid across the nation deserves a book to read, and we can make it happen right now. No, I don't know what you've been told, but kids with books learn so much more. So the mission is for us to get a book to each and every child. So let's join hands, book people unite, unearth hidden passion. Come on, we'll have a good time. Bring seeds of inspiration to motivate some magic. To change the writing on the wall, writing on the wall. One book can make a difference. One book can inspire a child. One book can be the first thing that helps to change a life. People unite.
Read to a child today and spark a lifetime of ambition.
This dog in Arizona took the crown for being the best boy after he led a 2-year-old boy to safety. Bowden Allen walked 7 miles from his house, avoiding injuries and wild animals, until he was found by Anatolian Pyrene named Buford. Buford was able to lead Bowden to his owner's ranch, where the family was contacted. Now Buford is hailed as an honorary search and rescue member and was sent gifts from fans from all over.
Put me in, Coach. I am ready to play. Today is National Baseball Day, which dates back all the way to 1964 when President Lyndon Baines Johnson declared April 22nd as a holiday celebrating all things Diamond. Now, I don't know about you, but I will be celebrating today quite heavily, as with players such as Shohei Ohtani, Mike Trout, and Jose Ramirez, we as baseball fans are truly spoiled.
So how about that dog leading that little boy to safety?
I think it was absolutely amazing. You know, animals, especially dogs, are such loyal creatures, and to have a dog like that take care of your family, it's certainly out of a storybook.
Right. See, my dog back at home would definitely not do that. He just likes to eat. Well, that is all the time that we have for you today. Thank you so much for joining us.
For updates on all these stories and more, visit our website at kentstater.com. I'm Gage Wellman.
And I'm Lillian Drabick. Have a great evening, everyone.
Can you consent with me? Imagine what you'd see if every child had a book to read. 'Cause every kid across the nation deserves a book to read, and we can make it happen right now. No, I don't know what you've been told, but kids with books learn so much more. So the mission is for us to get a book to each and every child. So let's join hands, book people unite, unearth hidden passion. Come on, we'll have a good time. Bring seeds of inspiration to motivate some magic. To change the writing on the wall, writing on the wall. One book can make a difference. One book can inspire a child. One book can be the first thing that helps to change a life. People unite.
Read to a child today and spark a lifetime of ambition.
Good morning. Hope you all had a good weekend and are ready to be inspired. One quick thing I want to remind you guys to be studying.
Major key alert. Did you just look at your phone while you was in class? You played yourself.
Class, today we're talking about inspirational quotes.
You want to get that paper? You better turn in that paper and get an A+. That's a major key. Another one. Mogul talk. You want to reach the mountaintop? You got to go hard. To succeed, you have to believe. Stay focused. Fly higher than the eagle. Don't ever play yourself. The key is to make it, so make it.
Louise, can you give me an example of an inspirational quote from recent history?
Don't play yourself. The key is to make it.
And who said that?
I did. Now that's a major key alert.
Learn the real major keys to getting to college at getschool.com.